everybody. How you doing? This is Graph and Take Profit. We're back to look at a few more things today. Now let's see. Why don't we go first? We go look at Bitcoin first. So I'm going to do a little beginner's guide to crypto. So one of the first questions I think many people have, it's very simple, is should I buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or something else? And that might be as much as people know. All we can do is we can just show you quickly where we are in the market, because all these questions are based on what phase of the market we're in, if we're in up, down, or sideways. So here is sideways, and above this is up. So it is believed by everybody in the crypto community. Well, let's not say everybody. There are some perma bears out there. It's believed by everybody in the crypto community that I listen to and I respect, that we are in up. The bull market is coming, and we shall go up in similar fashion to when we go up in a bull market. So that is a good start when you're deciding if we should be buying crypto, because if it's good, the down phase, it might be a little more riskier. It's always very risky though. Now, you buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, well, why not check what the market is doing? And you can do that on Coinmarketcap.com. Coinmarketcap.com is a wonderful asset, and we should all be using it. You can check everything here. But at the very top, it says Bitcoin dominance is 43.3%, and Ethereum dominance is 19.4%. So that's based on the market cap of the coins. And it's literally telling you that the crypto market is 43% Bitcoin and 19% Ethereum. So that's a good place to start. If you want to buy some coins, you go, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Why don't I do what the market is doing? I try and do what the graph is doing, but I get the added benefit of thinking I understand the graph a little bit. So Bitcoin 43%, Ethereum 19%. If I had $1,000, I would just be buying one of them. If I had $2,000, I would be getting close to maybe doing 43%, 90% in Bitcoin and Ethereum. There isn't a need to buy a lot of coins at the start when you're starting out, because it can be confusing and you don't know what's going on, and you're going to buy the wrong coins. So I personally, when I started, I just bought Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then as I made money, I bought other things. Now, what I want to show you is I have a portfolio video here I did before. I can just give you a little glance at it. So this is kind of how my portfolio was built. Big chunk of BTC, big chunk of ETH, and a big chunk of ADA. Okay, and there are three of the coins from the top echelons of the list. Okay, so here you get them all listed, and they're all ranked in order. Okay, and these are safer coins at the top. I personally not a big fan of the Binance coin, because it's quite centralized. Solana is very centralized as well, but a lot of upside. Now, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano, three in the top six. Tether doesn't count. It's just a stable coin. It's just $1. It's not. You're not really playing crypto. It's still a reasonable place to put your money. You can earn some interest there. So I personally would look at no further than buying anything out of the top six as a first coin. If somebody was to buy a first coin, and I would be picking from Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Now, if I had a large chunk of money, I might be able to buy a portfolio at the start, but don't expect this to be your goal. Then I would still put most of my money in these three, and then some from the top 10, not including dog coins, and then a little bit from the top 25, top 50, and so on. And less of the risk in the ones that are lower caps on the lower pages. So this the top 100 on the first page. If you go to the second page, you get the second 100 and the third 100 on the third page. They can all be interesting, but they can be a little bit more risky. Okay. Now, how reliable is Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano in the short term and the long term? Well, in the short term, they are not reliable at all. Nothing is reliable in crypto in the short term. Anything can happen. Price can go up and down. Look, we just went all the way up, and then we did all this nonsense and we waited pretty much 6 months to get back to where we were. So even if you're thinking 6 months to be long-term, it's not very reliable. But if you're looking at long-term as like 4 years, then they're all very reliable. And we can see that. I'm going to go into Bitcoin from, this graph is older. This is the Bitstamp graph, so it goes back a few years more. And you can see how reliable. So here, Bitcoin in 4 hours, not reliable at all. These candles are all 4 hours. So this is from the 18th of October. This is 3 days. It's still pretty much sideways. We got a nice bounce here. We're going up. Now, what do I want to check? I want to look at history. So please ignore all my squiggles on these graphs. They are useful to me. Now, I'm going to put it in the, it's in the log. Okay, so we can see this is how reliable Bitcoin is in the long term. It predominantly goes up. Look at that. Now, if you buy here, you'll have no money like a year later. You'll be like, oh, my money is gone. If you don't sell, up she goes. Do not sell at a loss is the most important thing in crypto. If your money goes down on Tuesday, it might come back up on Wednesday, but if you sell it, your money is now at a loss. So we sell in profit. Selling at a loss is not very useful. What factors change the price? Well, there's an awful lot of factors to change the price, and we can make that a very confusing question. I like to look at it a little more simply, just because it's easier to think about. So you can have your Elon Musks and your whoever talking about something and prices can change. But I look at it as people sell their coins, price goes down. People buy the coins, price goes up. It's that simple. That's the simplest way to look at it. By looking at it in a confusing way, I'm not going to be able to explain it to you. There's lots of other factors. A lot of coins, maybe they're having a launch of something, they've got a new something, another thing, or whatever. They can, of course, change the prices. But I just like to go, people are buying and selling. Now, when do they buy? When it's down, you see, when it goes up. We are down in the scheme of the last few years. A little exaggerating. In our cycle, what we had what we call the mid-cycle bottom. Okay, so we call this area the mid-cycle bottom. I'm going to go back to my tiny graph. This one. Sorry, I've got a lot of graphs. So my tiny graph. Here she comes. She's all nice and tiny. Must have been 4 hour. Now we need to look at it from the weekly. Now, so what happened? We went into sideways. Sideways is a great place to buy. And now we're just at the start of up. Still, in my opinion, great place to be buying coins, especially coins from the top of the list. All right, let's see. How long does it take price to come back up? Okay, so if price comes down, it can take any length of time to come back up. During sideways, it takes sideways time. It'll do some more sideways before it comes back up. So this was the start of a sideways phase called accumulation. So it took 3 to 6 months to come back up. And that's very fair. Once you go under this line here, which is called a bull market support band, you can be 3 months down here or 6 months generally on average. During an accumulation phase, anyway, at least is what I would expect, if not a lot more. Now you get a lot more when you enter the down phase of the cycle. So down phase of the cycle. Oh, we're on the tidy one again. This is because the messy one is really messy. But when we're in the bear market, it will take longer to come up. It can take years. And we should be in a bull market. So when prices drop, even considerably, like Bitcoin can drop 20% on the way up. Here it dropped from 38K to 28K. That's a big drop, and that was just a couple of weeks. And then it gets back up. So yeah, try not to sell at a loss is what I do, and prices will come back up eventually. Different length of time, different periods. So if we're in the bull market, which is my assumption, then when price goes down, it will come back up faster than when we're in a bear market or when we're going sideways. Now, let's see, how much is Bitcoin right now? It is 65.7 for one coin. You don't need to buy a whole coin. You can just buy a little bit, $20, $100, $50, whatever you want, and off you go. And where you can buy these cryptos. So they're all not in the same place. When you click on them here, you can go into detail and it'll show you where you can buy the particular coin. But the coins that newbies should be looking at, which, you know, the blue chips we're talking about, all the coins at the top here, not the Doge and not the Sheep. They are controlled by retail and big investors and can be a little bit more volatile. Let's say we're already in a very volatile market. I don't need it. So some of these are the blue chips. Polkadot is a blue chip. Chainlink is blue chip. Luna and AVAX are becoming blue chips very quickly. Litecoin is not. Uniswap is a blue chip. Matic is a blue chip. VeChain is a blue chip. I don't want to go too far down and call them all blue chips. We'll say that's about it. There's some good coins. And you can buy them on exchanges. So the best way is to join an exchange on your computer. And you want to look for Binance.com, Coinbase, Kraken, and any really, what did I forget? I got 4, that's enough. Then you need to look for security, because getting in first is good, and then you want to look at better security and minding your money in wallets and stuff, and do that another day. Now, so the most important thing is to invest in coins at the top, because when we're starting, we have no idea what we're doing. We've got to be careful. We've got to learn. We've got lessons to learn, so we can watch and see what's happening, and with our money in somewhat safer places. Not safe, still very volatile, but prices should go up. Like Bitcoin, in essence, has built this support here, and we've gone sideways for weeks. And it is very possible that the Bitcoin price does not go below this box ever again. I would be happy to make the assumption that we won't go below this box ever again, below 40K. It's just an assumption. Gives me a better chance of being right than saying this one. But this is also a strong possibility. Once we get going, we could be off. All the coins that we look at today could be at their very cheapest. They might never be cheaper. Who knows? Time will tell. I think certainly this looks like, we came up, we tested, everybody bought here, and off she went. This looks like support to me. I would be very surprised if we came down. We're now, this was resistance. We broke all that. We're now above it. Made it very strong by staying here for weeks. So that is how you start into crypto. Nice, dip your toe in. Let's get a few coins, maybe just one, really. One, Bitcoin or Ethereum, or maybe Cardano would be what I would be looking at. And that's it, sit back. Now, moving your coins and taking profit is something we put up here. And Investopedia is another huge asset. You can just ask questions. It will explain things to you. I wanted just to show you Investopedia as well. But we don't need to take profit when we don't know how to take profit as beginners. One of the best ways to make money in crypto is to buy some crypto and sit on your hands and do nothing for any length of time. For years, you can do nothing. And what happens generally is price of Bitcoin goes up, as we know. I feel like everybody heard about Bitcoin, at least in the last bull run or the bull run before, and you now understand that in general, price goes up over years. So you can just buy some and do nothing and you're looking good. If we can learn a little bit more, then we can do a little bit more. I only move about 10% of my money, if not even less, by taking profit and stuff. But there will be times when I take higher profit. All right, everybody, that is hopefully something useful for you. Get on the exchanges if you want to buy crypto and buy whatever you want. I would only be picking from up here in this general area as we start out. Lots of profit to be made still in these things, most certainly. Everybody, good luck and goodbye.